In 1996, the world witnessed its first man versus machine event when Garry Kasparov, then world champion in chess, was defeated by IBM's Deep Blue, marking the first victory by a supercomputer against a world champion. 20 years later, on March 2016, Google's AlphaGo AI program defeated the world's Go champion Lee Sedol. These two events were a turning point in the development of AI and its potential across various fields, including medicine, robotics, and scientific research. In this video, we'll be attempting to answer the question of what exactly is artificial intelligence by looking at the performance of Google's AlphaGo AI program during the Go match with Go grandmaster Lee Sedol. How does this technology actually work? Does it resemble human intelligence in how our brain works? And why is it important now more than ever to learn about artificial intelligence and the role it will play in shaping our future? Hi, I hope you're doing well. If you're new here, my name is Sarah Kurdi and I talk about technology, startups, and internet media. I also discuss how new technologies impact our life and society in the context of the Middle East and North Africa region. So if that is of interest to you, then you might consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notifications bell so that you get notified when new videos are uploaded. I'd also recommend you watch the channel promo to get to know what we're doing here and the type of content you expect to see on here. I'll leave the link to the video in the description box down below. Before we get into artificial intelligence, I think it's important to have context and first introduce you to DeepMind. DeepMind is a British-American artificial intelligence research lab that was founded by Demis Hassabis, Shane Legg, Mustafa Suleyman in the UK in 2010. It was acquired by Google in 2014 and merged with Google's AI division Google Brain to become Google DeepMind in 2023.
We think of DeepMind as kind of like an Apollo program effort for AI. Our mission is to fundamentally understand intelligence and recreate it artificially. And then once we've done that, we feel that we can use that technology to help society solve all sorts of other problems.
The story starts when DeepMind sets out on a mission to build an artificial intelligence system that can master the ancient Chinese game of Go. Go was long considered a nearly impossible challenge for AI to learn because it is a very complex board game of strategy, creativity, and originality.
I started talking about the game of Go with Demis more than 20 years ago, and so this has been a really long journey. The game of Go is the holy grail of artificial intelligence. For many years, people have looked at this game and they've thought, wow, this is just too hard. Everything we've ever tried in AI, it just falls over when you try the game of Go. And so that's why it feels like a real litmus test of progress. If we can crack Go, we know we've done something special.
In order to understand why Go is considered a grand challenge for AI to learn, we first need to understand the rules of the game.
There's only one type of piece, there's only one type of move, you just place that piece on the board. And then your goal is to create a linked group of your stones that surrounds some empty territory. And when you surround enemy stones, you capture them and remove them from the board. You earn points by surrounding territory, and at the end of the game, the person with the most territory wins. It seems really simple, but then you sit down to play and you realize right away, it's like, well, I technically know what I'm allowed to do, but I have no clue what I should do.
Go is incredibly challenging for computers to tackle because compared to, say, chess, the number of possible moves in a position is much larger. In chess, it's about 20. In Go, it's about 200. And the number of possible configurations of the board is more than the number of atoms in the universe. So even if you took all the computers in the world and ran them for 1 million years, that wouldn't be enough compute power to calculate all the possible variations. If you ask a great Go player why they played a particular move, sometimes they'll just tell you it felt right. So we have to come up with some kind of clever algorithm to mimic what people do with their intuition.
Just said the goal is to create a clever algorithm. That's exactly where we need to start because understanding the meaning of the word algorithm is the first building block that allows us to understand what artificial intelligence is. Algorithms are a key component of the code running AI, and here's what an algorithm is according to a Vice AI documentary.
In layman's terms, an algorithm is a kind of recipe for solving a problem. Basically, it's the set of step-by-step instructions given to a computer to help it accomplish a task.
According to IBM, artificial intelligence is a type of technology that enables computers and machines to mimic human intelligence when it comes to learning, comprehension, problem-solving, decision-making, creativity, and autonomy. Directly underneath AI is something called machine learning. Machine learning involves creating AI models or computer programs by training algorithms to recognize patterns or make decisions based on data. If this sounds a little bit complicated, machine learning is the learning part of AI. It's how this technology learns things.
AlphaGo found a way to learn how to play Go. Learning is the key thing here. It's machine learning.
There are many types of machine learning algorithms that are beyond the scope of this video, but one of the most popular types of machine learning algorithms is called a neural network or artificial neural network. This algorithm is of interest to us because neural networks are modeled after the human brain structure and function.
Technology is at the heart of AlphaGo. They're what are called deep neural networks, which essentially mimic the web of neurons in the human brain. It's a very old idea, but recently, due to increases in computing power, these neural networks have become extremely powerful, almost overnight.
Big neural networks that operate on big data can achieve surprising things.
Similar to our brain, which is a network of about 10 billion interconnected neurons, neural networks consist of interconnected layers of nodes that work together to process and analyze complex data. Neural networks are utilized to identify complex patterns and relationships in large data sets. This is exactly how Google's AlphaGo was able to learn the game of Go.
Start off training AlphaGo is by showing it 100,000 games that strong amateurs have played that we've downloaded from the internet. And we first initially get AlphaGo to mimic the human player. And then through self-play and reinforcement learning, it plays against different versions of itself many millions of times and learns from its errors.
Now that we understand how AlphaGo was able to learn the game, I'm really interested to understand how did AlphaGo actually play the game in real time? What was the thinking process that was taking place behind the scenes before making a move on the board? How did it evaluate each and every move it made? And did it consider the likelihood of winning for every move it made? All of these questions were actually discussed by a member of the Google DeepMind team who walked us through the three-step process AlphaGo used to play the game during the Go match with Lee Sedol.
AlphaGo has these three main components. There's the policy network, which was trained on high-level games to imitate those players. And then we have a second component, we call this the value net. And it can evaluate the board position and say what is the probability of winning in this particular position. And then third component is the tree search, where it would look through different variations of the game and try to figure out what will happen in the future. So if we now take a position like this, first the policy network would scan the position and come up with what would be the interesting spots to play. And it builds up a tree of variations, and it then employs this value net that tells it how promising is the outcome of this particular variation. So AlphaGo tries to maximize its probability of winning, but it doesn't care at all about the margin by which it wins.
At this point, I know artificial intelligence might seem like computers or machines using mathematical frameworks to make predictions or decisions based on data. Well, that's what everyone thought until AlphaGo made move 37 during the Go match with Lee Sedol.
Professional commentators almost unanimously said that not a single human player would have chosen move 37. So I actually had to poke around in AlphaGo to see what AlphaGo thought. And AlphaGo actually agreed with that assessment. AlphaGo said there was a 1 in 10,000 probability that move 37 would have been played by a human player. So it knew that this was an extremely unlikely move. It went beyond its human guide and it came up with something new and creative and different.
알파고는 기실은 뭐 확률적 계산을 하고 그냥 이기기 위한 그런 머신에 불과하다고 생각을 했었는데 그 수를 보는 순간 아니구나. 충분히 알파고도 창의적이다.
AlphaGo's victory inspired a new era of AI systems, the underlying deep neural networks technology behind it, and its ability to examine future scenarios and plan accordingly are still used in today's AI systems across various complex domains.
There are so many possible application domains where creativity in a different dimension to what humans could do could be immensely valuable to us. And I'd just love to have more of those moments where we look back and say, yeah, that was just like move 37. Something beautiful occurred there.
I personally think artificial intelligence is gradually becoming an extension of our mind. It's like having access to the super smart assistant that can enhance your perception and expand your intelligence if used in the right way.
He improved through this machine. His humanness was expanded after playing this inanimate creation. And the hope is that that machine, and in particular the technologies behind it, can have the same effect with all of us.
I remember hearing a talk by Kasparov, who says that a good human plus a machine is the best combination.
Tell me, what do you think of artificial intelligence and how do you use it? I'd love to know your answers in the comments below. Also, did you know that artificial intelligence or the technology behind it is what's making the world's most advanced AR glasses possible? If you want to know how, then check out my previous video where we talked about the most advanced AR glasses in the world. I'll leave the link to the video in the description box down below, and I'll see you next video.